But anyone who makes you question your sanity when you know that you know you're not tripping, never date those kinds of people. Because usually they're cunning, they're conniving, and they're lying to you, and they're probably cheating on you too. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance. And today's episode is brought to you by my book, How to Ex Your Ex, a guide to getting past unhealthy relationships. It's time to end the agonizing cycle of unhealthy relationships. Most people struggle with breakups because they just don't know how to start the healing process. How to Ex Your Ex is a step-by-step guide on moving past unhealthy relationships. Renew your strength and find happiness by walking away from relationships that no longer serve you. Learn how to stop the overwhelming thoughts of your ex, get rid of the feeling of regret and shame, eliminate the crushing feeling of rejection, be at peace with your decision to leave, and be hopeful that there is better out there for you. Get the book today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble website, Apple Books, and also on Audible. All right, I'm so excited about today's topic. So listen, let me tell you what I need y'all to do. Y'all listening to this, I need you to pause it, share this with a friend that's single, because they're going to need this information. I want you to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to share it with that friend too, because I don't know why I didn't think about this topic sooner, because it's so necessary. Like, it's so necessary. So please pause and share right now, because listen, I'm dropping gems today. Nobody really talks about this subject, but I don't get why. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 types of people you should never in your life date. Okay? You heard what I said. 5 types of people you should never ever date. This, honestly, of course, y'all know I always get complaints. Men are like, well, you always share men, well, you never share women. My blog is called Single Woman Chronicles, meaning that I'm a woman and I'm single and I talk to other women. But today, if you feel like your brother or your cousin or your homie can listen to this and feel this, because I know a man can feel this too, share it with them too. Whew, I'm so ready for this. So this topic came about because I was just thinking about, I was taking inventory over my dating life. And I was just thinking about how I chased so many people in my past that made me feel like garbage. And the reason I chased these people was because I was low in self-worth. So I needed them to validate me, but they were actually tearing down my self-worth. I think a lot of the times we want the person that's breaking us to validate us, to build us up again, but that's not going to happen. So yeah. And also I was trying to prove myself. Like, I was trying to prove to them that they were wrong about their opinion of me. But you can't prove somebody wrong who wants to have a certain opinion about you that you know deep down isn't true. So a lot of the times I stayed in situations where I knew that this person was making me feel like garbage because I wanted to prove to them that they were wrong and that if they lost me, that they would regret it. But ultimately, I was miserable in the process. So what was the reason? Like, what was the reason? So today, my focus on the type of people you should never date. It's all internal. These are people who make you feel awful. And it's 5 different types of emotions that I've experienced in dating that today at 33, I would never ever in my life date these types of people again. I would never ever in my life advise anyone to date a type of person that makes them feel this way. And if someone came to me and was like, hey, I'm dating this person, such and such, blah, 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 and I would ask them, how do they make me feel? If they responded with these 5 types, I would be like, exit stage left, leave immediately, read the book, How to Ex Your Ex, if you don't know how to get out of it, baby, but you need to leave, all right? Let's get into it. I wrote a list because my memory ain't that good no more. So let us jump into it. Person number 1. Never date a person that makes you feel insecure. Ever. If you question yourself in a relationship with the person, or a person that you're just dating, it's a situationship, a talking stage, whatever. If they make you question your security in yourself, how you view your beauty, how you view your intelligence, if they make you feel insecure about that, cut it off. Never date that kind of person. I can recall in 2021, I dated a Kevin Samuel light. Okay. Um, it's a lot of people who supported Kevin Samuel. I'm not gonna get into that. I didn't support him because my thing is, what are you sowing in the soil of the earth? Are you sowing chaos or are you sowing peace? I felt like he sowed way more chaos than peace. He sowed way more dissension than solution. So that's just my thing. But also, biblically, y'all know I'm a Christian. In the Bible, it says you'll know them by their fruit. What do you produce when you're speaking? So for me, I always want to produce women who feel at peace, women who at the end of the day are happy, women who at the end of the day walk away feeling better about themselves and about their lives and feeling hopeful when they listen to me, feeling like they got a solution to something, feeling like they can conquer the day, they can lift their head up and walk away from a situation and be happier and whole. That's not what Kevin Samuels was producing, and I can say this because I dated a man who was a Kevin Samuelite, and he was not a good person. Like, his character was funky, like he was awful. So I said all that to say, after doing work, building my self-worth up, if you guys have been following me, you know that I've done studies on self-worth. I also have this thing called Self-Worth Bootcamp, and I'm working on another book about self-worth so I can help ladies build their self-worth. But I say self-worth is like a bank account. You get credits and you get debits. So your goal is to try to stay in a positive on your self-worth, but not every single day you're going to feel positive because somebody could debit your account by calling you out your name, or somebody can leave your life and you feel a little less than, or somebody can credit your account by calling you beautiful. You can do a good job on a project and you feel good about yourself, whatever. So this man only made debits to my account, and he would do little things like, first of all, he came after me. Y'all already know how these dudes are. They'll chase you. You finally stop running and you pay attention. You give them a chance, and then they come, I guess because of the rejection that they felt from having to chase you, they feel like they need to make you pay, child. So he would do things like, he came after me, very love bomby, was trying to be with me within the first week. I was like, no, I take relationships seriously. Slow down, little shout. Like, no, we good. Then I just noticed that, I don't know, he was just really pushy about relationships, but he really wasn't operating from he wasn't a good relationship type of guy. Like, he wasn't good at planning dates. He wasn't good at listening and being supportive. He wasn't good at affection. He wasn't good at emotion. He just wasn't good at anything, but he wanted to be called a boyfriend. It was so weird. But anyway, he asked me to be with me, but then would do stuff like post other women on his stories, like, yeah, this is my woman crush Wednesday. It would be celebrities and stuff, but I'm just like, that's kind of immature, especially if you're pursuing a woman. Why are you posting other women on your page? So that was kind of strike number one, because the women you posting, I don't look like that. Like, I don't look like that. These were more athletic women because he had a crush on like a basketball player, and I'm more curvy, voluptuous. I'm more like Meg Thee Stallion. He posted more like athletic physique, Lisa Leslie type, bills. Both are beautiful bodies, but I just don't look like that. The second thing he would do, I noticed that I found myself trying really hard to please him as far as my appearance, because he didn't compliment me a lot. And I'm used to being in relationships or dating people who compliment me a lot, because words of affirmation is a love language for me. And I noticed like I was trying to earn that from him. So I would put heels on and I would put makeup on, or like try to change up just to search for a compliment. And I'm just like, why am I doing this? And so that was strike number two. Strike number three, I started questioning certain things about my looks. Like I was bringing them up to my best friend, and she was like, and that's why it's really good to have people in your corner who know you, who know what you've gone through, who know your truth, what you've overcome. Cause she was like, "Girl, what is you talking about? You starting to sound strange. Like this ain't you. Like this ain't you." And she was right. So of course, like I ended the relationship because um after him doing all this chasing or whatever, I found out he was acting real single online. And when I confronted him about it, he tried to deflect and make it seem like I was crazy, and I don't do that. So I just ended it. But he made me feel very insecure, and it was crazy for me because I was at a space in life where I was very strong in my identity. I was very strong in my security. But at the same time, you can be all of those things, but still have a blind spot. Because although I was all of those things, I was lonely. And because I was lonely, he was able to have access to me and penetrate certain parts of me in my emotional walls because I was lonely. So be very careful with that. So never date people who make you feel insecure. Now, I'm not saying you need to date someone who's going to constantly have to validate you. No, you need to have validation within yourself. But someone who literally comes into your life and you know you're secure, you know that you like who you are, you like yourself, you love yourself, you like how you dress, you like how you present yourself, you love you. But as soon as this person comes in, they make you feel unsure about yourself, they make you feel insecure. Something's there. Don't date people like that because most of the time they're trying to manipulate you and break you because they're probably insecure about themselves or they want to control you. So be very careful about dating people who make you feel insecure. I say never do it. Person number 2 you should never date. People who make you question your sanity. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to go into this long story because I've spoken about it a few times and I really don't want to even bring this up. But I have an ex from years ago. We broke up in 2017. But he would make me feel like I was crazy all the time. Like, I knew that I knew what my gut was telling me, what my eyes were telling me, what my cognitive reasoning was telling me. But he was so good at his manipulation that he would make me question my own sanity. And it was because he was lying on me. I mean, he was lying and he was cheating. But I didn't have physical proof. Like, I wasn't the type of person to go through a phone. I'm not the person that's about to follow you and all of this. But I just remember feeling very just on edge all the time, feeling like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. Is it me? Is it me? Am I the drama? What's going on? And I remember after we broke up a year later, a young lady that he was dating reached out to me. She literally emailed me and she's like, I've been dating the guy who's your ex for like a year now, which means the relationships overlap. Yes, because he was cheating on me. And I just really need your advice. If you are willing to talk to me. If not, I completely understand. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm cool. Because by that time, I'm completely over him. I don't care. So I speak to the young lady. And the first thing she says is, I don't know if I'm crazy or not. And I immediately started laughing because I'm like, girl, you not. Everything you think is the truth. Like everything that you think he did it. Like anyone who makes you feel crazy, and let me tell you about these people who make you feel crazy. They don't like you to ask questions. Like when you ask questions, they get offended, they get defensive, they try to change the subject, they try to laugh, and they may call you crazy sometimes because you're asking questions. But anyone who is offended by questions is not an honest person. You are not authentic because you can ask me questions. I'm going to answer them straight. I'm going to answer them directly. I'm going to ask, even if you ask me multiple times, I'm going to say, I already told you already, this is what it is. It's not going to change because I'm telling you the truth. What's up? I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to get like, no. But anyone who makes you question your sanity when you know that you know you're not tripping, never date those kinds of people. Because usually they're cunning, they're conniving, and they're lying to you, and they're probably cheating on you too. We talk about mental health a lot, but are you taking charge of your mental health journey? You already know I talk about going to therapy and how my therapist snatches my edges all the time. asking me questions that I would have never thought to ask myself, asking me questions that I've pondered on for years. But I want that for you. I want growth for you. I want the best version of yourself, because the only way to reach your goal, your potential, your destiny is to become the best version of yourself. And let that begin with therapy. So let's start with Talkspace. Talkspace has a promotion right now where you can get $100 off your first month. All you need is the code SPACE. Yes, SPACE, SPACE. Click the link in the description box to get Talkspace right now today. Let's start 2023 off right. We out here. I already told y'all we out here. So get it right now. Click the link wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple, it's in the description box, even YouTube. Get it right now. $100 off. Like $100, that's a lot of money. Y'all better come get this. Come get this therapy. Come get this therapy. 3, people who make you go against your values. Okay, this is good. This is good. When you grow up, certain songs you listened to when you were younger, they hit different now, right? LaToya Luckett has a song called Torn. And when I was younger, I used to love that song, Torn. And it was crazy because I wasn't even going through what she was singing about, but I just loved the emotion of the song. But there's a part in that song where she says, I'm sitting here and I'm so confused because I keep fighting myself for you. What? Do you hear what she said? I'm going to say it again. She said, I'm sitting here and I'm so confused because I keep fighting myself for you. So never date a person who makes you fight yourself for them. If someone is in your life and you have values, you have a certain morale, but you're having to go against that morale to be with them, you don't need to be with them. Case in point for me, my celibacy. I know how important my celibacy is for me. If anyone ever comes into my life and tries to pressure me into having sex with them, that is going against my values and my morality. If I feel like I have to have sex with you, and if I don't, I'm going to lose you, you are not a person that I want to be with. Point blank in the period. I can't do it. Because here's my reasoning. My celibacy is about 80% based on my relationship with God. Biblically, it says, who you gonna please, man or God? For me, at the end of the day, at the end of this life, I gotta answer to God. He's gonna be the person I'm answering to. At them holy gates, I'm not gonna answer to you, I'm answering to him. Okay? So, if my peace with God is going to be interrupted because you want me to give you some poom poom, like, and that's not enough. Like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Because, okay, I'm gonna have sex with you, then what? Okay, I've earned my place in your life, but now I'm uncomfortable. Now I feel guilt. I feel I ain't even gonna say that because that's of the enemy. I feel, what is it? I don't know why I can't think of the word. I feel convicted by the Holy Spirit because I know that anyone I have to have sex with to keep isn't someone I want to keep. So what am I doing it for? Because it's not going to guarantee that you're going to stay with me. It's women out here busting it open every single day, still getting left, still getting cheated on, still getting dogged out. So why do I have to go against myself to keep you? That don't even make sense. I love me too much for that. I love God too much for that. So I ain't going to be able to do it. So never date a person that makes you go against your values. And your values may not be sex, but what if your values are marriage? It's people out here who want to get married. You run into a person that maybe they got a divorce or maybe their family went through a divorce and they don't ever want to get married, but you value marriage. You can't be with them. And let me tell you why. I heard this sermon, I think, or this podcast or something of this guy. This really wise guy. He looked older, like in his 50s, 60s. And he was saying, a lot of people fell in marriage because one person wanted marriage, valued marriage, but another one didn't. You can't marry someone who doesn't value marriage because when they no longer love you, they don't want to be married anymore. Because you want marriage, they're going to value the marriage more if they want it too. So if you value marriage, Don't date someone who doesn't. A lot of women, okay, listen, this is the last one. I'm going to use it as an example because I struggled with this one for years, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I'm going to be obedient. If you value going to church, if you value your Christianity, do not yoke yourself up with somebody who doesn't. And let me tell you why. You're going to get angry and try to change them and make them want to go to church, make them want to have a relationship with God. It's going to be very hard because every Sunday when you sit in that church alone, or every Sunday when you're getting ready for church and they're sitting on the couch or they still in bed, you're going to have some type of resentment. And it's going to not be their fault because you chose that. So if you value that, don't do it. And for a long time, I would date guys who were not Christians or guys who were like, say, if a guy said God, I was like, okay, he'll do. Because for a long time, I felt like there weren't a lot of Christian men left. And if they were, married, or they were older, or they weren't my, physical type. But I've noticed lately, like, there are a lot of young guys on fire for God. And if I believe that, I can receive that. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. So never date someone who makes you go against your values. Okay. Number 4, never date people who give 95%. Never date people who you give 95% while they only give 5%. Where do I start? We live in a world today where everybody is me-minded. It's all about me. Alexa, play Maya. It's all about me. We must understand that in relationships, it will never be only about you. And if it is only about you, then that other person is not being 100% satisfied. I don't think none of us will be 100% satisfied. Michelle Obama has an interview that went viral recently about how in her marriage, it was never 50-50. It was sometimes 65-35, or it was 40-60, or it was 30-70, just different season, different ebbs and flows. But if it's constantly you're giving way more than the other person and you feel like you're pulling teeth to get them to give as much, that's not something you want to be in. And that's physically, emotionally, and mentally. For me, I find myself doing a lot of heavy lifting in my past relationships on the emotional side and on the mental side. Like physically, I tend to date attractive people. I've tended to date people who will take me out on dates and like do all the nice stuff. But when it came to the emotional strength, I found they were lacking. I was like pulling teeth to get them to open up. When it came to the mental side of it, I felt like I was the fun, I was the intellect, I was the smart one. Like, can we come together on this? So like, and I'm not saying that not to date someone where you're giving more than they are, because again, it's ebbs and flows. But I'm saying if you're giving like almost all of it, you're calling first. You're creating, you're planning the dates. You're always telling them about you, and asking them about them. They're never bringing anything up and never asking you about you. You're constantly asking, like, what's the direction of the relationship, blah, blah, blah. Like, you might as well be by yourself. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But because we live in this society where it's like me-minded, that's what we're being taught. And it's not true. Because even biblically, we have to understand this. I know I'm talking a lot about God today, but I'm recording on Sunday and I just left church because the spirit is heavy. So I'm not going to apologize for that. But we got to understand this. Marriage, the idea of marriage came from the Bible. No matter how many people want to say God is not real, blah, 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 the idea of marriage came from the Bible. God talks about Christ and Christ being the bridegroom, the church being the wife, because he wants us to get the idea of love and marriage between how we look at God. Not saying that we should look at God as our man, like, oh, we married. Like, no, it's just a visual picture. It's an analogy. So you can understand what love looks like, right? So when we talk about that, what did God do for the church? He died for it. It's sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. Love is long suffering. Love is servant minded. Jesus said the first shall be the last and the last shall be first, because he wants us to understand that you have to be a servant to the person that you are going to be with forever, right? And to understand that servant mindset, it's not saying that you're less than or belittling yourself, but we're serving each other. Like my husband, I'm going to serve him, he's going to serve me, right? So it shouldn't be something that's looked down upon, because of course, like servitude and this worldly perspective sounds crazy, but that's how God wanted it. And think about it. If you're in a relationship where both of y'all serve each other, where can y'all go wrong? Like, what my needs are in this season, he got me. What his needs are in this season, I got him. But when I can't have him because I'm going through something, maybe life is lifing, he still got me because he know how to long suffer. Something going on with him, maybe he got a lot going on, but I got to step up more. I'm still serving him, but I got to long suffer sometimes. That's cool. A lot of people don't understand that because they me-minded, but I want you to understand it. So I want you to be in a relationship where not only are you serving that person, but they're serving you too. Okay? All right. So never date a person that you're giving like almost 100% of the time and they're not giving anything. Okay. Last person you should never, ever date in your life. People who bring you anxiety. Okay. I talk about anxious attachment a lot because, hey, I lived there for a long time. I'm finally securely attached. But for my whole life, I was anxiously attached. So anybody who just listening to me for the first time, there are 3 different types of attachment styles. There's anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and secure. We all want to aim for secure. Anxious people are people who, when they attach to somebody, they get very clingy. They want them all the time. They need constant validation. If that person tries to pull away from them, their anxiousness is triggered. And they get anxiety. It's a lot going on. Avoidant attached people are people who don't want to create close connections, either because they don't know how or they don't want to because they're afraid of being hurt. Okay? Got it. Don't date people who bring you anxiety. Okay. Because of my attachment style in the past, I would get very anxious in a lot of my relationships when they did not create a safe space for me. And a safe space for me was basically a space where you provided clarity. The guy provided clarity for me and consistency. I cannot survive in an environment where there is not clarity and consistency. If that type of guy tries to date me, Ashley, I cannot do it. Other people can because they don't have my history. I'm okay with that. But because I'm self-aware enough, I know that me, Ashley, if someone comes in and they're unclear and they're not clear, and they don't bring clarity and they're inconsistent, I'm going to have anxiety. So I'm asking you, have you ever dated someone and they brought you an extreme level of anxiety? Like you never quite felt like you could just have peace and put your full weight in that relationship, in that situationship, in that talking stage? Never date that person because they're unsure. They're unsure about you. I don't want to date nobody who's unsure about me. Like, unless it's like a casual fling type of thing. But if it's a serious relationship and I'm really trying to build with you, I don't want anxiety. I don't want to feel that. I want peace. I can do that in a casual, hey, what's up? We hang out when every blue moon, when it's what, I don't care because I'm not trying to put my weight on you. I'm not being vulnerable with you. I'm not opening up to you. I'm not wondering if you're going to call me tomorrow. I don't care. But if it's like a real relationship and you're really looking for something, don't date nobody who bring you anxiety. Don't do that because that's a sign that there's something wrong. That's a sign of when someone makes you feel unsure to the point that you got anxiety, you're anxious, you can't sleep at night, you ain't got no peace in your mind about this relationship. No. Anyone that I've ever asked, any person in a serious relationship that was healthy, because I've been blessed to have a lot of healthy marriages and relationships around me. And when I ask them, what does love feel like? They all say safe. We're in this society that's so toxic. What's that boy name? Moneybagg Yo has a song. And it's so toxic. And he talks about how they smash one day and then the next day he's blocked on Instagram. That is the type of environment that is the type of culture that they're pushing. That's the type of love. The Ike and Tina, the beating each other, the let's be toxic, let's go out and I see you across the room and you flirting with somebody else, I'm flirting with somebody else, but then we go home to each other. Who wants to be a part of that? I don't. No. So I want safety. I want clarity. I want peace. I want peace of mind, baby, because all that no, I can't do that. I can't thrive in that. I can't thrive in that type of We're so used to thriving in dysfunction. Not thriving, but we're so used to being comfortable in dysfunction because maybe we grew up in a dysfunctional household and that's just comfortable for us. I remember dating a guy who argued with me every single week because that's how he grew up. Like, if his mom wasn't yelling, then like she must be dead, because that's all she did was yell. So that's what he wanted us to do. And I couldn't operate like that. Like, it was just yuck. So if someone brings you anxiety, never date that kind of person. So let's recap. Never date these 5 kinds of people. 1, people who make you feel insecure. 2, people who make you question your sanity. 3, people who make you go against your values. 4, people who you give 95% while they only give 5%. And 5, never date people who bring anxiety. Okay? Again, I told y'all this was going to be a banger. So go ahead and share this, because somebody need to hear this. Somebody was just on your line last week, telling you how they felt anxious or they felt insecure or they feel like they're crazy. And I just gave them the answer to why. Because they don't need to be dating whoever they date. All right. Well, till next time, y'all. Bye.